Fedcoin. So what is your prognosis on this whole industry going from the what I call God's money to people's money or crypto money, which was Bitcoin? And then now the Fed is realizing that Bitcoin was kicking their butt and they better get into Fedcoin or whatever we call it right now.
Digital currency.
Digital.
Yeah.
What do you see happening?
Well, I mean, it's a financial prison. Chapter 17 of my book, I have a chapter on Fedcoin. It's a term that I first came up with in 2016 when people didn't even know what Bitcoin was, and we were talking about Fedcoin, which shows that we're a little out of touch. We realize people need to stair step into these ideas, but Fedcoin has been in the works for a long time. If you think about it, the United States uses the dollar as a weapon around the world. Okay, you hear this all the time. Russia is bad. We're going to use sanctions against people there. Iran is bad. We're going to use sanctions. What are these sanctions? These sanctions will block you out of using any sort of and everybody said, this is terrible. We can't do this. But now everyone's comfortable with the digital wallet. I mean, even older generations are comfortable with the idea of having digital money. And so Fedcoin does a few things. Number one, it makes it impossible.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't even use cash anymore because I'd rather have a credit card.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a credit card and Fedcoin?
So the thing that Fedcoin will do is it will give centralized control. That's what people need to see, is that there's centralized control. So every single Fedcoin, just like every Bitcoin, has a history attached to it. You've started to see now where there's a alleged ransomware attack. And they say the brilliant people at the DOJ and NSA have tracked down the recipient of this Bitcoin and pulled it back from their digital wallet. Well, wait a minute. I thought it was totally anonymous, like it was a Swiss bank account in my pocket, but it's not. Everything is tracked. So you can trace these Bitcoin transactions back to the original user. And people say, well, blockchain, I've heard of that. That's good. You can make money off that. Do you see how the narrative now supports people going along with this Fedcoin? But what happens is we say, Robert, you have been making a lot of statements that we don't agree with. And you've been encouraging people not to trust their elected leaders. And Robert, a lot of things are bothering us. So we're going to restrict your Fedcoin wallet and allow you to only spend on basic necessities. This is absolutely possible on a blockchain. And then it eliminates tax evasion. So there's no way you can evade taxes because every Fedcoin is recorded on this blockchain and every transaction tracked. So
the question is, when does it go to Fedcoin? When does a dollar become Bitcoin? And the reason that's important is that's how I've been tracking a lot on. Right now, it's called the transmission mechanism. The way the money gets into the economy is they need people like me, entrepreneurs basically, who can borrow large sums of money. So $160 million we borrowed, signed a paper to it. That meant $160 million was created out of thin air. So us entrepreneurs go in there, we create $160 million, but the banks give it to us, guys like Goldman Sachs or Wells Fargo or Bank of America. That money is just created out of thin air and it's pumped into the economy.
Before we continue, help us by smashing that YouTube like button and subscribe now to this channel. This shows the algorithm that you value the information, and it helps us spread this message. Sharing is caring. Please like and subscribe now. Thank you. And now, let's continue.
The problem is that the current transmission system only rewards people like me, real entrepreneurs who can handle large sums of debt. You see, without people like me who borrow money, or the CEOs who borrow money to buy back their stock, money doesn't exist. So the people who are whining and complaining, mostly school teachers, they're saying, well, how come the rich are getting richer? Well, they don't understand the transmission mechanism, of money. So I have to borrow money for it to come into existence. And most school teachers can't even afford a credit card. So if all you have is a credit card, they don't need you. And then they're going to charge you exorbitant rates for that stupid credit card. Or they're punishing kids with student loan debt or payday loans. So the transmission mechanism is the current banking system, Wells Fargo, the hedge funds and all that. If it goes to Fedcoin or Euro, the banks are gone.
Is that possible that because it's now not traceable, like Chris Rock was a guy that said, he says, if you want to stop murderers, make bullets expensive.
That's right.
So hear what I'm saying. I want people to think, not listen to what you have to say necessarily. If that is possible, if everything is going centralized with a Fedcoin, which is communism, it's central planning, will that make things that are not trackable more valuable? Is that possible?
Absolutely.
So I'm just giving people not to get confused. We take some action. So for years and years and years, Kim and I have been putting all this stuff aside because, as Chris Rock said, if you want to stop murders, make bullets $50,000 a bullet. And he said, well, I'll shoot you as soon as I save my money. That was his thing.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Rock was a futurist. So I'm looking at everything today is, can it be tracked? Is it traceable? Can it be something that the federal government can now take control of and track you through the usage of it? Right now, the way the system works is the Fed and the Treasury produce money. It goes into the big banks like Goldman and Wells Fargo. Rickards and I suspect when it goes to the Fedcoin, those big banks are gone, because the big banks are what they call the transmission system, like the transmission of a car. But they take the transmission out because it's a Tesla now. Now, what's the possibility of that in the not too distant future?
Well, it's a great question, because I think what people don't realize is they look and they try to make these predictions, say, what's going to happen to ABC company? But wait a minute, what's going to happen to you? The guys at Goldman are going to be fine because the business changes and it's no longer business. See, as you have centralized control, business changes. So this becomes a command economy. So it matters how close you are to the power. So look at the Treasury secretaries and all these people. You see their resume, former Goldman Sachs.
The thing is what has value is not traceable. That's the question. That is really the question today. So that's, if it goes to Fedcoin or Eurocoin or El Salvador coin, what will have valuable no matter what, and is untraceable by technology?
What to do in such a situation? Inform yourself and keep your financial education strong. We from the Compact Group offer our loyal subscribers a free educational portal with first-hand monetary, financial, and economic knowledge. Enter our invite-only Insider Club by clicking the link below. You will get access to first-class information far earlier than the rest. We have prepared a special deal for all our members, where you can access a giant pool of Robert Kiyosaki's financial wisdom for just $1. To find out more, simply click the link below and join our Insider Club absolutely free. But there is more you can and should do. Build up several streams of income. More and more people realize that they have to take their future in their own hands, but they don't know how and where to start. We from Compact offer our Insider Club members unique opportunities. Strengthen your financial muscle and get the edge. Click the link below. Become part of our free Insider Club. No financial obligations. But there's one important thing you have to know. You have to become active. So do it now. Become active and see you on the other side.